What's up, Nail Geeks? I am back with Rogue Lacquer's May 2021 releases. We have two new creams, the Pastel Flake collection, and a collection of petal toppers. So before we dive into the swatches, I just wanted to let you guys know that in this post I am using Rogue Lacquer's Glossy Top Coat. So first up for the Pastel Flaky Crellies collection, we have Mermaid Sprinkles. This is described as a Caribbean blue crelly with a mermaid blend of grape, bright blue, and turquoise metallic flakes. So the formula on this is very smooth, very satisfying, easy to build up. It absolutely has a crelly formula, but in terms of application, it's very smooth and just wonderful on those brush strokes. Now for opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats. Now that's going to go across the board for all of the pastel flaky crellies, but I just wanted to note that I personally stopped at 2 normal coats, and you'll see on each of them that they plump up really easy and give you that strong, nice, thicker sort of appearance to your nails. So if you are rocking longer nails or you apply thinly, I could see you might needing a 3rd coat, but if you apply like myself, 2 coats is perfect. And next is Unicom Sprinkles. This is a squishy lilac crelly with a fantasy blend of rose, turquoise, and grape metallic flakes. So very similar to Mermaid Sprinkles. I do agree this one does have a bit more of a squish factor to it in comparison to Mermaid Sprinkles, but again, very similar smooth crelly-like formula. And again, 2 to 3 coats is going to be perfect depending on your nail length and how you apply. This is a lovely, gorgeous type of lilac, almost leaning with being a pastel sort of purple. It self-levels excellent. I had no problems with the flakes in any of them. They lay down nice and flat, and they just give you this adorable sort of candy, sprinkly sort of dessert looking feel. So absolutely cute and just perfect formulas. I can't rave about them enough. Now in each of these, you are seeing me top off with Rogue's Quick Dry Glossy Top Coat. It does have a thicker consistency and it worked awesome. And next is Dino Sprinkles. This is a light green crelly with a blend of rose, copper, and grape metallic flakes. So again, very similar. This one applies more in terms of like Mermaid Sprinkles, that blue. It's got that very smooth, very creamy, but somewhat squishy formula to it. Now I do want to note that each of the pastel flaky polishes, they do dry down pretty flat. So I had no problems in terms of texture, but again, Rogue's Glossy Top Coat has this more gel-like consistency to it. It's a bit on the thicker side, but very smooth, if that makes sense. So it applies like a gel top coat in my opinion, and it is a touch thicker. So I had no issues getting these to gloss up very well using that top coat. If you're in the market for trying out a new top coat and you're really falling in love with these gel-like top coats, definitely recommend picking it up. And next is Fairy Sprinkles. This is described as a blossoming pink crelly enchanted with rose, turquoise, and grape sprinkles. So this one also very heavily leans on being a straight up pastel base color. It's absolutely a pink in person, but I do want to know, in my opinion, I think that there is just the slightest bit of a purple, almost lilac sort of undertone happening with it. On my monitor here, watching the playback, I do think this one is coming off color accurate to what I'm seeing in person. Just in case it's not, again, pastel sort of pink with a very slight smidgen of a purple lean to it. Again, the flakes in here are super adorable, and you'll get this, what reminds me of like a candy sort of jawbreaker like appearance, and wonderful application here too. So again, you are seeing Rogue's Glossy Top Coat, and you can see how it kind of plumped up and gave me that ultra glossy factor. And finally is Birthday Sprinkles. This is a buttercream frosting sprinkled with red, turquoise, bright red, and crushed gold. So this one, if you are curious how it compares to, say, Dino Sprinkles, Dino has more of a pastel, very soft sort of green base, and Birthday, this one, definitely has more of a yellow sort of lean to it. So very much a very light pastel yellow. There is just the slightest bit of what I'm going to dub as a custard. It definitely leans just a touch more yellow in person. So again, this one applies very similar to the others, very smooth, creamy appearance. I think this one's gonna have to be my favorite out of the flaky Crellies. They are so lovely, and I'm digging that rainbow-like appearance against this, in my opinion, very unique sort of base color. Now I'm gonna show you guys the two new creams first, because I'm gonna also show you guys them over the topper collection. So this one is Commando and is described as a squishy white cream. Now I do agree with that official description. This is absolutely a more crelly, squishy sort of creamy white. It does have an awesome formula to it, but please note, in my experience, white creams typically can be a little bit troublesome, so I'm going to strongly suggest don't overwork it as you are applying to prevent any sort of balding or streaking. It's really squishy, kind of flirting with being a milky sort of white, but it still applies very opaque, so I'm not going to classify it as milky. Go in softly and you'll allow it to have this softer sort of stark white appearance. Now here on the full hand shot, you are not seeing a glossy top coat because I went in with a topper afterwards. And next we have Meadows. This is a squishy, springy green cream. So this one is, in my opinion, not as squishy as Commando. However, it applies more true to a cream, and this is a very satisfying type formula. I am very intrigued by Rogue's creams. I have not tried her creams, and I was very impressed with this one. And I did see on her Facebook post that she was at a in-person event, and I saw, to my eye, I saw some neon creams. I'm hoping maybe we'll get that release. I don't know. But if they're anything like Meadows in terms of formula, I'm going to have them, needless to say. So for opacity, I'm going to suggest 2 coats on this one. Light to medium coats is perfect as it builds up to opacity very quickly. It dries down semi-gloss, so I think any top coat will do. Now on Meadows, you are seeing the glossy top coat applied, and it's just super, super satisfying. Now for the Petal Toppers collection, we have Sunshine Daisies Butter Mellow. This is described as a crushed gold metallic flake topper. Now these are really nice, and I think depending on how you apply them, it's going to depend on how dense that flaky look appears over your cream. So I decided to do 1 coat over Commando, and I am doing my favorite method of applying toppers, especially toppers that have just a touch more of a heavier type of glitter or flake, what have you, in it. And we've dubbed this the icing method. Beat it up around your cuticles and then gently drag it down. And I think, in my opinion, that gives me the most dense type of coverage for toppers. And I really liked how this looked over that white cream. And Morning Cosmo is a pinky rose metallic flaky topper. I know a lot of people tend to go bananas over rose gold toppers, and personally, I'm a little finicky on them. I think rose gold is kind of up to the interpreter for what you're seeing. In my opinion, this is what I consider a rose gold. Not too yellow, not too pink, just perfect right there with this strong metallic sheen to it, and absolutely beautiful over that white cream too. I think these are going to be fantastic over any base color, but again, I wanted to show you guys them over the creams that are releasing alongside these 2 collections. If you go in with the icing method or the topper method, however you want to call it, it's definitely very, very dense across your nails, and there's not really a need for very careful placement. I had no issues getting a ton of flakes onto the brush. And next is 1000 Fringed Daisies. This is a turquoise metallic flake topper. Now this one and the last topper I'm going to show you guys, when I opened up my PR box, I did think they were quite close in person when looking at the bottles, but after applying with them, I realized that they are quite different in terms of their colors. So this one is absolutely turquoise, and the blue, which we'll see at the end, is a straight up true medium blue. So quite different. If you're curious, in the recap of the video at the end, I will absolutely put the swatches side by side so you can kind of get an idea of how different they are and how over different base cream colors. And next is Pansy for your thoughts. This is a lovely purple metallic flake topper. So again, we have a lovely dense topper here. I was really on the fence between showing this one over Commando or Meadows. I thought that Commando was going to give us more of a springy sort of true pansy-like color scheme. And if I wore it over Meadows, I think that was going to give a bit of a Halloween vibes, which is nothing wrong with that. That's an awesome time of year, but I wanted to give more of this springy sort of summer vibe look. So I think it looked beautiful over the white. Again, very strong metallic-like feel in how it looks after you top off with your top coat. And finally, we have Delphinium Out of Water. This is described as a beautiful blue metallic topper. So this one was the one I was talking about compared to 1000 Fringed Daisies. This is more of a true medium blue, really pretty, strong metallic feel here too. And again, very dense if you go in with the method and you apply like how I'm applying. Now I did on one of my other nails apply normally and did not do that beading technique, but I still had excellent flaky payoff. So honestly, I really don't see a need to do very careful placement, of course, unless you are going in just a touch heavy-handed and kind of really dragging those flakes around. So just let them do their thing. These do make whatever base that you are topping over be quite flat. So again, I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat. Now, finally, we have Kaleidoscope. This is a rainbow flake topper. This one is actually a part of the Pastel Flake Crelly collection, that first set, but I thought it kind of fit to show it along with the toppers after I showed you guys the creams. Kaleidoscope is just a straight up mix of all the goodies we just saw, and it gives you this very strong, metallic, true type of rainbow, dense effect across your nails. They are what I am going to say is basically all of the toppers combined into one. Really cute. These apply quite dense on the nails, and again, I'm going to really strongly suggest going in light on your brush strokes. Now, the Pastel Flake Crellies will be available for $11 each. The creams will be $9 each, and the petal toppers will be $9. That is with the exception that Kaleidoscope, that rainbow one, is going to be $10. I'll break all this information down below for you guys, and I'll link you to Rogue Lacquer's shop if you want to check it out, and the Facebook fan group if you haven't joined that. These will release May 21st at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Again, I'll have all this information in the description box below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.